Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Dawn Chorus. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get this game for free on itch.io. And if you want to support them or get the newest update earlier, then you can get it on Patreon. And I need to reset my face. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, we had dinner. Sorry, I was like, okay, so they have breakfast, they have lunch, they have dinner, and then they have supper, which I thought supper was dinner, but apparently they have 4 of them here. Anyways, and yeah, we hung out with Toruf, even though he wasn't in that selection thing. We played snooker. No, wait, not snooker. We played the foosball. You know, the little guys on the things. And then we snow fought with Lake and Miko, and Jorgen was just off in the distance. So now to go to the locker room. I can't remember this at all. After the walk, the 4 of us split up, and each went our own ways. Lake took his final shirt back and went with Jorgen back to their room, and Miko returned to his own room as well. I spent some time in the lobby, watching TV, but it quickly got boring, so I'm walking around the guest house, looking for anyone. Looks like no one's here. I decided to go check out the locker room to see if anyone was in the swimming pool or the sauna, but it doesn't look like it. Where is everyone? Now I can't remember which one was what. And say, let's see, this is Bear. Bear, Rune, okay, you guys. Who was the other one then? Common space? Okay, same thing. Just wanted to be sure. They probably could have... Oh, fucker. No, that's fine. Straight to the common space, I guess. You know? No, well, not really spoiler. But yeah, he plays the piano. But, you know, if you didn't see the other Let's Play Go for Rune twice, you should probably look at that too. For a moment, I think about going to the sauna alone, just relax. But frankly, I'm already plenty relaxed. Just bored. There's a faint melody coming from somewhere. I stop for a moment and listen. It sounds like a piano, only muffled. Oh yeah, I remember. There's a piano in the common space. Continue walking towards that room. The closer I am to it, the louder the music gets. Walking into the common space, I see it's Miko, sitting behind the piano. He knows me entering the room, and stops playing, turned towards me. Dark, did you know they have a piano here? Yeah, I've been here a few times already. I didn't pay much attention to it, not being able to play the piano myself. It's even in tune. I was afraid it was only here for decoration, but looks like someone's taking good care of it. So, if you don't touch a piano for a while, does it go out of tune or something like that? I mean, maybe. I don't know, I'm not a pianist. He touches the keyboard with such affection that for a moment I can't help but feel a bit jealous. Boy, I wish he was touching my keys, if you know what I mean. Are you still playing that piano sometimes? You're always so good at it. Not really. I haven't even seen one in a long time. Remember the one we had at our school? Oh yeah. This one looks better for sure. There wasn't anything wrong with that one. It was just old. It was still so much fun. I sit down on the sofa, feeling somewhat awkward, standing there in the middle of the room. I was always awful at the piano, so I don't really share the sentiment. Oh, but I remember staying with you after class and listening to you play. Why'd you stop playing? Bah! Rune and Bjorn suddenly emerged from the corridor, walking alongside each other. Bjorn holds some book in his paw, but from where I sit, I can't really read the title. Miko Dark. Hello. Hey, hi Rune. Hey Bjorn. I had no idea you could play the piano, Miko. Knowing your way around the keyboard helps a lot with composing. I actually started the piano and switched to the electronic instruments later. Let me just reset. We heard someone playing the piano in here and came to listen. I hope you don't mind an audience. I don't. Although, don't expect too much from me. I haven't played a real acoustic thing in a long time. Rune walks into the room and sits down in the armchair. Bjorn, however, walks up to me and points at a spot next to me on the sofa. Do you mind if I sit here? No. No, don't worry. He sits down heavily next to me and leans forward with his elbows on his knees, resting his chin in his paws. The wooden construction of the sofa creaks under our combined weight. So, would you like me to play something? Sure. Play Wonderwall. Maybe this one. Miko turns towards the piano and lifts both of his canine paws, wiggling his fingers for a moment before putting them down on the keyboard. Everyone goes silent in an instant, leaving only the crackling from the fireplace resounding through the room. It's a cute little CG right here. Miko begins to play the piece, soft piano notes reverberating around the room. He strokes the keys gently, but with confidence. Ooh. The three of us sit there in silence, not wanting to distract him, but also enchanted by the music. I don't think he would notice anything anyway, completely engrossed in the playing. There's a genuine smile on his face, and he closes his eyes from time to time, his tail swaying from side to side with the rhythm of the piece. Heck. Personally, I'm just kind of being like, oh, hey, here's this memory. It's like... Anyways, it's like he's playing with his whole body, not just his paws. The music is delicate and calm, like a meadow brushed by a gentle autumn breeze. It makes me feel like I'm floating above the ground, or being carried by a gentle stream. It's touching something deep within me that I haven't felt in a long time. His paws move elegantly in wide swipes across the keys. It takes some effort, and he has to slow down in some parts, but from the look of it, the look on his snout, it's clear he's having a lot of fun. He looks happy when he plays. Yeah, I remember that from the times we were in middle school together. He always looked genuinely happy when he was playing an instrument. Right now, in his smile, I can see the boy he was back then, getting lost in music and forgetting about the world around him. Suddenly, I hear steps from behind me. Turn around, I see Torf entering the room, holding a banana in his paw. Is that a banana in your paw, or are you happy to see me? He raises his other paw to greet us, but doesn't say anything. Instead, he walks up to the free armchair and sits down quietly, listening to Miko playing. His steps feel deliberate and balanced. I hadn't noticed him before, but he walks in a really elegant way. Meanwhile, Miko finishes his piece. It was really nice, Miko. Miko turns towards him, surprised. Hi, did we meet before? I believe not. Like mentioned you, though. I know that you're Dark's friend. I'm Toruf. It's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure for me as well. That was something, Miko. Really. Aw, thanks. Even if you're saying that's only out of courtesy, I can't help but envy him. I myself struggled with playing anything on the piano, and there wasn't really any fun in it for me. I remember trying the piano for a bit. It was because I was enamored with somebody and wanted to impress them and, have common ground with interests, Didn't work out. When I was listening to him play, I always felt inadequate. He started a bit earlier than me, and was enough to discourage me. Miko used to tell me that pushing through the first phase of playing anything was a huge effort, but for me, it seemed like I would never get out of that phase. The truth is, that I never applied myself. Well, Miko kept practicing and practicing. Now, he's better than I'll ever be. No, that was really great. Where'd you learn to play like that? Well, we had music lessons in school, like everyone in Finland. We were playing mostly stringed and wind instruments, but we had the basics of piano too. I spent a lot of time playing piano by myself after class. Oh, does that mean you can play too, Dark? Not really. I had music lessons as well, but I was never really good at it. Maybe I remember something from them, though. Maybe a few melodies, that's all. Would you like to play too? Oh, I don't know. I haven't played in a long time. I was never good to begin with. Oh, come on. I'm sure you're better than you think. We won't make fun of you. Don't worry. He has worry written all over his face. I don't know if it's a good idea, Rune. I'll play. Hopefully this doesn't make the guy that I'm going after not like me by playing the piano. I can try. I have no idea what I'm doing. Why is it that it's always so hard for me to refuse when others ask me politely? The excited look on Rune's face was too much for me. I just couldn't let him down, even though I know, in the end, I inevitably will. Miko stands up from the piano and moves over to the closest armchair. I reluctantly walk over and sit down there where he sat a second ago, in front of the instrument. Resting my paws on the keyboard, I notice they're shaking. What should I play? I try to think of any track I was ever learning. There's one that was fairly easy to play. I think I remember it. I play the scale in which I think the track was composed, just to make sure that I remember it correctly. I don't know why, among all the other ones I tried to learn, this one stuck with me. I haven't listened to it in a long time. Okay, I don't really know what I'm waiting for. Now, without some hesitation, I play the first note of the track, and then the rest of the chord. The way the keys feel surprisingly similar, and the chord sounds nice and sweet. I forgot how nice it feels to play. I was never happy with my playing, but only now I remember I enjoyed it. I still feel everyone's eyes on my back, though. Okay, focus. I just need to go through the piece and not make any obvious mistakes. Desynchronizing left and right paw is just as hard as I remember. People often don't realize that and think that playing a slow piano piece is easy, but that's definitely not true. Okay, that's all I remember. Turn around to face the rest and see they're all looking straight at me. See, that wasn't bad. Yeah, sure. Dark, hey, I really mean it. Cheer up, or else I'm gonna have this horribly sad face right here. You look like you're gonna cry. That was cool, Dark. Really gave me chills. I really love Digcraft music. I'm glad you played that one. Alright, because it kind of sounds like Minecraft's classic music. Bjorn. Miko gives him a disappointed look and shakes his head. Okay, that's quite funny. What's wrong? It's not Digcraft music. That's a masterpiece from the 19th century. Oh, I was sure that was Norway from the soundtrack. Would fit the occasion. So wait, it's like a Minecraft thing like Norway is or like Finland? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played the game in quite a while now, though. I always loved the music from it. It invokes so many memories now. I'm glad to see the time I spent teaching you didn't go to waste, though, Dark. Oh, right. That's why this piece stuck with me. It was the one Miko himself taught me. Frankly, I surprised even myself. Although that wasn't the best performance of this piece, to put it lightly. And it's not like I remembered much of it anyway. For someone who didn't play it for a long time, it's really impressive, Dark. You're really kind, all of you. I stand up from the piano and walk back to the sofa. My legs feel all wobbly under me, but I try to look calm and composed. I can't help but let out a big sigh of relief when I sit down, leaning forward and hiding my snout in my open paws. Rune gets up and walks up to me, patting me on the back reassuringly. You did well, Dark. Don't worry. By the way, Miko, your playing is really nice. Do you play often? Not really. I used to, but that was back in Finland. Here, I don't have a piano I could practice on. I do have a synthesizer with a keyboard, but that's definitely not the same. Pianos have weighted keys, with a completely different feel when playing dynamic. I can't imagine performing something other than a box fugue on a synth. I don't know, music's technical stuff. Why is that, if I may ask? Those were written for organs mostly, and the dynamics are completely different. I don't need a piano's dynamic range and subtlety to play those. I understand. So you play electronic music too? He actually composes his own stuff, and he's quite good at it too. He played me some of his tracks earlier today. Let me reset again. Miko blushes at his words, putting his huge fluffy ears down. Huge fluffy ears. Unlike me, he never liked being in the spotlight, no matter what. I just like playing music, that's all. If you're good at it, you definitely should use your talent though. Do you have a SoundLink account where I can listen to your tracks? I don't have one, but I do have one, but I don't really upload anything there. That's at least not lately. Why? I mean, how else are you going to get known? I don't really care about that. As I said, I just like playing music. The fur on Miko's neck is all bristled, and he even bares his fangs when he speaks. Yeah. No, that's not good. I rarely see Miko angry, but now it's clear that he's getting more and more annoyed. That's just wasting your talent. If there's something you can do well, you should find a way to monetize it. Or at the very least, share it with the world. Toruf, you've just told me not to pressure Dark into anything, and now you're trying to talk Miko into things he told you he doesn't want to do. Toruf looks at Rune, and then at Miko again, clearly taken aback. You're right. Sorry. Although, I won't change my mind about it. I'd be glad if you respect my approach to what I do. Thank you. Oh, that was definitely the most hateful thank you I've heard in a long time. Well, the atmosphere in the room is completely ruined. I glance at Bjorn, who's been quiet for a while now. He's looking down at his paws, just playing with the cuffs of his hoodie, looking as if he wishes he was anywhere but here. Anyway, I really enjoyed listening to you play, Miko. I love the sound of the piano. I know it's fairly common sentiment, but piano might be my favorite instrument. It has such a magical, romantic quality to it. I regret picking up the guitar instead of the piano, but just a tiny bit. Actually, I wonder how does the piano relates to guitar? If knowing how to play one helps with the other. Miko, can you play the guitar too? Just what I learned in primary school. It was so long ago that there's no point in even mentioning it. I remember maybe playing one song. That was an easy one by Neuromino Hotel. I'm not a music person, so I'm not sure what they're referencing there. Oh yeah, of course. You mean the astroplane over the sea? That one exactly, yeah. It's a classic. I don't think I've ever heard of it. It's not the kind of music you look for, it's the music that finds you. Anyway, you won't be able to help me that much then. I'm afraid not, unless you want me to teach you to play the piano. Maybe someday. I have a bit too much on my paws already. Yes, you do. You're gonna burn yourself out, man. But thank you for the offer anyway. Would you mind playing some more, Miko? I don't remember the last time I heard someone play the piano live. Actually, I don't think I've ever attended any piano concert. It feels different than listening to the recordings. I can really say that this is I can't really say what it is exactly. It feels so much more live and magical. Now a few more pieces. And we have time. I sit together listening to Miko play. The day slowly turned into night. Leaning on Bjorn, though, through the window I observed the last minutes of the evening sun, playing as the red sky, painting the red sky red and orange. Soon after, the clouds started to give way to a clear, silky smooth sky, slowly fading to black. So many things happened today already. This afternoon is over, but the memories of it will stay with me forever, hopefully. Days end so fast up here during the winter. I don't feel tired at all. Quite the contrary. I'm full of energy, even though it's already dark outside. Above me, the stars look like small pebbles scattered across the night sky. Here, far away from the city and its polluting lights, they shine so much brighter. There are even the subtle band of light that forms the Milky Way slightly visible. I should look up the Milky Way on, Google or something like that to see what it looks like, because I think I remember seeing that when I was out in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico doing work stuff. It's very cliche to think, but it's mind-blowing to think how big they actually are. So big and so distant. Impressive, isn't it? We stayed in the common space for more than an hour, first listening to Mika playing, then just talking together. At the end, we were joined by Lake and Jorgen, who treated everyone with chocolate they brought with them. It was almost time for the stargazing to begin, so we hurried outside onto the terrace. There, we found a few other students already waiting, and several telescopes lined up at the edge of the terrace. The night sky here certainly is something. Next to the entrance stands Coach, together with a professor I'm not familiar with. He's a burly badger, probably in his late 40s or 50s, looking rather friendly and approachable. Good evening, Professor. Good evening, Lake. And hello there, Jorgen. Good evening, Professor. I hope you're well. I'm good. Thank you. Wait, Dark, do you have anything warmer than that sweater? I do, of course I do. Only it's back in my room. Oh yeah, right. I should have thought about that before. Wait here just a moment. Or come back inside with me. I nod and go after him back into the guest house. It's so warm here. I'm glad he noticed. Knowing me, I wouldn't ask anyone and freeze to death outside. Okay, I'll be back in a second. He dashes off into the corridor leading to the residential part. His room, where I assume he's going, is one of the first ones, so it shouldn't take long. Indeed, after a short while, he emerges back from behind the corridor, carrying a thick-looking black jacket in his pawaus. Here you are. You can hold on to this until you have your stuff back. Thank you, Coach. I put it over my sweater. It's a bit oversized, but at least it's warm and comfortable. Okay, we can go back now. Coach glances at his watch, and then looks at the notebook he holds in his other paw. Looks like everyone is here already. We can start now. Let me introduce you to Professor Ari Feng, who will give you a crash course in astronomy and stargazing tonight. Thank you, Devin. Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you all. So, you're here because you've signed up for stargazing as your activity for today. You probably expect to start with the telescopes, which you can use over there, but that's not what we're going to do. I understand that some of you might be a little bit more advanced on the topic, but we're going to start with the very basics today. We're lucky that the wind blew the clouds away, otherwise we wouldn't be able to see much, and would have to postpone the activity. My apologies, I all of a sudden had a run of a sneeze. Anyways, the stars are favorable to us today. He chuckles at his own pun before continuing. Devin, can you go and turn the lights off? Sure thing. Stargazing for someone who... I saw that, I was like, that's big. Not versed, and it might seem uninteresting. It's just looking up at the sky, isn't it? Well, in a way it is, but it becomes interesting when you know what you're looking for. The sky is truly a beautiful thing in itself, but knowing what you are looking at transforms the experience. We will start our course with the simplest exercise. Look at the sky and try and locate Ursa Major constellation. That's easy. Bjorn is standing right here. Link points at the bear and whispers to Jorgen, who, upon hearing that, hides his face in both his paws and sigh. Thank you, Devin. So now, can you find Ursa Major by herself? I look up at the sky, but I have no idea what I'm looking for. I've heard about the constellation, but at first glance, it's hard to recognize anything but even a bit Ursan looking. If you found it, please raise your paw. Glancing around, I see a few paws already in the air. I myself have no idea what I'm looking for, though. Okay, so for now, how do you find the constellation in the sky? When you look at Ursa Major, in the tail you'll surely notice a familiar shape. You may know this group of stars as Karlsovgen, Charles Wagon, or the Plough. Plough? That's a Big Dipper to you, Devin. Ah, sorry. British English sometimes still confuses me. Oh, that makes it much easier. I think everyone, at least once in their life, found the Plough in the sky. Only, unlike in the city, the sky is filled with a multitude of stars. How am I supposed to find anything among so many? Counterintuitively, you may find out that locating specific stars is harder here because of how many stars there are visible. Focused on the brightest ones, ignore all the smaller ones. I think I see it. Looking for only the brighter stars, I finally locate a familiar shape and raise my paw. Now, why is this all important to y'all? The constellation is the third biggest one in the night sky, and certainly one of the most well known. It's extremely useful in navigation and in the northern hemisphere of our planet. Even Homer in the Odyssey mentions Ursa Major as the constellation that never disappears from the sky and instead bathes the ocean waves. If you draw a line going through them, the last two stars of the bow point us straight towards Polaris. Polaris? Who can tell me why it's important? Polaris is the North Star. It's roughly above the North Pole, and so it's the point around which the whole sky rotates. That's right, thank you, Jorgen. What you might not know about Polaris is it's actually a 3-star system comprised of a primary star and 2 smaller companions, but that's a story for a different lesson. I've never heard of a 3-star system. I know I've played video games that have 2-star systems, like, was it Masters of Orion? I think always had 1 star. I think Stellaris. Is it called Stellaris? I played that game a whole bunch because I was making videos of it, then I switched things around and then I stopped making videos of it. Also, I did that whole thing. Is it Stellaris? Yeah, it is Stellaris. Huh. That's my face. It's fine enough. If anyone here is interested in night sky photography, but doesn't have the money for expensive equipment, then you could take some nice photos knowing where Polaris is. With long exposures, you can get those beautiful star trails circling around the North Star. Oh yeah, that thing. I like this guy already. It's a shame I don't have class with him. Our physics professor is probably the grumpiest old man I've ever seen. He's really nice, but any joke about Uranus gets you thrown out of his class. Lake knows something about that. Ow, Lake. I always thought you were a polite boy that never gets into trouble. I don't know where you got that idea. I can attest it's completely untrue. So, it looks like everyone was able to locate Ursa Major. That's great. For the next exercise, let's spice things up a little bit. This time, you'll be using telescopes. You will take a closer look at Saturn through them. That is, if you manage to locate it. I will make it easy for you though, because these are supposed to be fun activities after all. You're instructed to download Sky Map app to your phones before your arrival. I hope you all did that. Oh damn. If not, then do that quickly before we get to the next step. Devin, you can go too. Have some fun as well. Oh, if I can, then sure thing. Okay, so we don't have quite enough telescopes for all of you. So for the purpose of this exercise, you may form pairs, or triplets, or whatever configurations you fancy. I don't mind. You can have a foursome, I don't know. Wait, what? For now, please step close to your telescopes. I believe you can sort into bigger groups when needed yourself. Doing as Professor Arnie said, walk up to the free telescope at the end of the terrace. Looking around, I can see all my friends are already either at their telescopes or paired up with someone else. Even Mako is walking towards the one alongside Bjorn. Okay, does everyone in every group have their own telescope? Good, so now we can start. Named after the Roman god of time, Saturn is a good object for observation for beginners. It's relatively easy to locate, and I might say, fairly spectacular because of the rings. From my own observations, I can tell you that my students prefer to look at planets than stars. Because, they burn their eyes out. We have a bit closer relation to them after all. Can't help but start to imagine what it might look like from even closer. Who knows, maybe even one of you will find some alien structures on one of the planets someday. But for now, look at the object with the golden color, shining steadily, just a tad brighter than the other ones around it. First, you'll need to locate it with your own eyes before finding it through the telescope. The mobile app you have on your phones will be very helpful. An object with gold color shining steadily, just a tad bigger than the other ones around it, easy to stay, hard to find. I start up the sky map, hoping it will help. I have absolutely no idea how to use it. Maybe I should have read the manual, or something before the lesson. I look around in desperation. Maybe it'd be better if I joined someone else after all. Also, it's already the end of the day. I still haven't asked anyone about sharing a room for tonight. I think it's finally time to make the decision. This might be the best moment so far. So, who am I going to ask? It's weird, I didn't see Toruf here, but yeah, and that's a good time to call it. So, the end of this, let's place a comment, because I like comments, so much you like, dislike, tips, always. If you like my YouTube and like see grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest of it grow. And please respect your most self-control the pet population. Oh, I thought I hit something. And until next time, let's say, me, GamerWolfSix, of Don Chorus. Thanks and see ya.